Alright, welcome back. As you can see, we're back to work on the tiny square drop here. I'm going to attempt to make my own door because, man, them things are expensive. And I've got less than that whole camper so far than what one of those doors costs. So what I have is I've got some of this 1-inch plywood here, and I'm going to practice on it. I'm going to cut my radius, and I just happen to have this piece of track that made a pretty good radius curve. So what I'm going to do is practice on this piece cutting out before I cut on the actual thing. I'll cut a radius, and I'll bend some aluminum stock to make a door frame around it to see how it's going to go. The only thing is, do I use the jigsaw or the router? I don't think the router, this particular router, has a long enough bit to cut that out. Plus I'd have to clamp it and frame it. I really like this particular jigsaw. The only problem is it's either wide open or off. There's no variable speed trigger or nothing. So yeah, let's get it. All right, that's a pretty good radius cut. I ended up having to get the router out anyways because the jigsaw didn't cut perfectly straight vertical up and down, so I had to flatten it out and bevel it. But it ain't gonna be perfect right now. This is just kind of my test piece. So let's get some aluminum out and drill some holes in it, and we'll start wrapping it and seeing how it goes. Alright, let's wrap this corner with this aluminum, see how we do. Now this one here I'm putting in just to kind of hold this thing in place. I gotta tell you, I am not overly devastated. I tell you, I'm not. I think I can probably do this. I think I can probably make my own door. Well, alright then. On to phase 2. Well, I got the door drawed out, squared and leveled to the camper. Use that as my template. First cut's the deepest, I guess. Just gonna have to do it. Oh, let me have a sip of coffee before I start this. One of those situations where I really want to take my time. It's nerve-wracking. Now while I'm cutting this, once I go past here and here, that's the point of no return. I go further than that, I probably have to have a custom door made or something. So I'll get back to you in a minute. Now here is one woodworking pro tip. If you want to make your Starbucks just a little more manly, leave it where sawdust can get in it. You fill that thing up with man glitter. So, I'm past halfway on cutting the door out. I'm past the point of no return, so no risk it, no biscuit, I guess. Let's get her cut out. I gotta say, that was pretty doggone nerve-wracking, but turned out pretty dang good. Not a bad cut. Not a bad cut if I do say so myself. And I do say so myself. I think this is where I'm going to end this one. I got the recess cut in the door and the door cleaned up and ready. So now all I got to do is find a way to bend the aluminum to make the door frame. And what I'm going to do with that is, I don't know if it's going to work just yet, but I've built this thing to try to bend this aluminum stock, and I don't know how well that's going to work yet, but stick around, we'll get back at it on the next one.